Have you ever had your vibrator go off during airport security? Flying home for my father's funeral was already emotional enough without my carry-on bag suddenly buzzing like an angry beehive at TSA. But I'm getting ahead of myself. My father and I had a complicated relationship. He was a federal judge, the kind of man who wore suits to Saturday breakfast and considered emotions a sign of weak character. When I came out as bi in college, he didn't disown me, just treated it like I'd chosen an inefficient major. Doubling your dating pool doesn't double your chances of happiness, he'd said, then returned to reading his newspaper. We'd been slowly rebuilding our relationship when he died suddenly of a heart attack. I was in Seattle for a conference when my mother called. I threw everything into my carry-on, including the contents of my nightstand drawer, because I wasn't thinking clearly. Grief does that. Makes you pack 3 phone chargers but forget underwear. Seattle airport security was packed. The TSA line snaked around like a Disney World queue. I placed my bag on the conveyor belt, walked through the scanner, and waited. That's when the buzzing started. It was loud. Not discreet phone vibration loud, but industrial equipment loud. Every head in security turned. The TSA agent stared at the X-ray screen, then at me, then back at the screen. The buzzing continued, rhythmic and insistent. Ma'am, is this your bag? Yes, we need to inspect it. He lifted my bag, and the buzzing intensified, like it was angry about being moved. The agent's face was professionally neutral, but I could see him fighting not to laugh. He called over a supervisor, a woman who looked like she'd seen everything. We need to open your bag, ma'am. Do you consent? Can we do this privately? The private screening area is occupied. We can wait 20 minutes or handle this here. Behind me, the line had grown. A businessman was checking his watch. A family with 3 kids was staring. A group of college guys were already filming. Just open it, I said. The supervisor unzipped my bag with the gravity of someone defusing a bomb. The buzzing reached crescendo. She moved aside clothes, toiletries, and then pulled out the source. My purple vibrator, mysteriously activated and vibrating with the enthusiasm of a golden retriever greeting its owner. The security area fell silent except for the buzz. The supervisor held it up, looking for an off switch that was cleverly hidden in the design. The college guys were dying. The mom was covering her kids' eyes. The businessman pretended to check his phone while obviously watching. How do you turn this off? The supervisor asked, loudly, because apparently discretion had left the building. Twist the bottom, I said, my face burning. She twisted. The buzzing changed patterns. Other way, I clarified. Finally silence. The supervisor placed it back in my bag with the solemnity of a funeral director, which felt appropriate given where I was heading. These things happen, she said, but you should remove batteries when flying. It's rechargeable, I explained, making everything worse. That's when I heard a familiar voice. Margot? I turned to find Harold Whitman, my father's former law clerk, standing in the priority line. Of course. Of all the airports in all the world. Hi, Harold. Flying to the funeral? Yes. He glanced at the supervisor, who was still holding my bag, then back at me. Your father would have found this hilarious, he said quietly. He had a wicked sense of humor he never let anyone see. My father would have died of embarrassment. Your father once got caught with a flask at his own swearing-in ceremony. He just pretended it was cough syrup and took a swig in front of everyone. The man understood that dignity is about how you handle the undignified moments. The TSA supervisor handed me my bag. You're clear to go, ma'am, and I'm sorry for your loss. The college guys had stopped filming. The mom gave me a sympathetic nod. Even the businessman looked human for a second. I walked to my gate with my head high, bag in hand. At the funeral, Harold told that flask story during his eulogy. People laughed, shocked that the stern judge they'd known had a hidden rebellious streak. My mother leaned over and whispered he had a whole drawer of confiscated items from court that he found amusing, kept them as trophies. Later, going through his office, I found that drawer. Among the contraband was a court transcript from 1987, a case where evidence included personal massage equipment. In the margin, in my father's handwriting, exhibited more personality than the lawyer arguing the case. I kept that transcript. It's framed in my office now, next to a photo of my father in his judge's robes, looking serious. But if you look closely, you can see he's fighting a smile. The vibrator? Still have it. Still works. It's been through 3 more airport securities without incident because I learned to check the batteries. Though honestly, that TSA supervisor was right. These things do happen. Just usually not on the way to your father's funeral, in front of his former clerk, while being filmed by college students. The video did go viral, titled TSA's Wildest Discovery. Someone recognized me and added context about the funeral. The comments were surprisingly kind. My favorite. She handled that with more dignity than I handle ordering coffee wrong. Harold was right. Dignity isn't about avoiding embarrassing moments. It's about owning them, vibrator and all.